So
2020.
let's go back to the direct to consumer and these new age companies that are coming about. They've made the cost of entering categories really low. Let's say by just being able to grab products from places and put a brand on it, and they believe that many people believe that it's their communication and their customer acquisition strategy and their positioning of the brand that will carry them forward to a level of scale, perhaps when they can ultimately get into their own real product development and product differentiation. Whereas I think you've come from a very different place where you guys have had strength in product development, have had years of research development and ability to understand customer needs from a very real perspective of having users who've used products. How do you how do you think that translates over time as an advantage? Does that something that these guys are going to have to build sooner rather than later if they're really going to compete in a world, or is it something that you kind of say, all right, they'll figure it out. They should be able to get there, and or do you rely heavily on your product expertise to ensure differentiation?
I think what some of these sort of D2C or digitally first companies have done is quite amazing, correct? Even in the sort of beauty and personal care space, scaled up quite strongly, especially just doing it on e-commerce without having sort of offline trade. So hats off to them. But I would think that sustainability also comes from repeat customers, correct? So customers who are repeating, and not just because you keep launching new SKUs. You need to have your consumers come and repeat your product, and that really happens from good quality products, correct? And if you don't focus on that, at some point it's gonna hit you. And Sandeep, I don't know, in a very different, there's all this excitement in FMCG about these D2C brands, correct? And we, frankly, I've studied some of the product quality of these
Mm.
brands, and it's not so good. So, you could see some of the fallout of that coming. And a few years ago, Sandeep, Patanjali was going to take all of us over and
Yeah.
throw us out of India, if you sort of
Yeah.
remember, correct? And people were obviously, this whole naturals trend, and this is the future, and look where they are today, correct? And they didn't have product quality. They didn't run their factories in the best
Yeah.
possible way, correct? So that he, and the kind of, he was on TV all the time, and the kind of branding, and I mean, just fantastic. But at the end of the day, the consumer is going to repeat buy because they find the product good, because they love the product. And and Sandeep, I'll give you a really, something in Godrej. So we started our consumer products, our FMCG business, making soap. And I think ever since we started, and we were the first in the world to actually commercially make soap from vegetable oils. So it used to be out of animal fats, and you can understand with sort of religious sentiments why this vegetable oil soap
Hmm.
did really well. And soap, I mean, soap is mostly oil, and and now we're having a big sort of commodity price inflation. We're one of the companies who we don't touch our quality, correct? We don't reduce the oil in soap. We always keep our soaps, the total fatty matter, at grade 1, correct? And this would say, in a year like this, if I tweaked my quality, I could put 50
Mm.
crores to the bottom line. Consumers wouldn't probably realize that it had been done, correct? But if you keep
Yeah.
doing, do you know what I mean? But you as a company have to say, no, but this is a long term play, and quality really matters.